In a bold stance against global injustices, African leaders are heeding the call of Burkina Faso's revolutionary leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. From Ouagadougou's dusty streets to Lusaka's bustling cities, a radical change is underway. A movement rooted in the unyielding demand for justice, dignity, and self-reliance. African nations refuse to be pawns in a world order that exploits their people and plunders their resources. Leading this initiative is the President of Zambia, Hakainde Hichilema, whose recent shocking demand to the European Union, EU, and the UK to reimburse African nations for non-refunded visa fees has sparked reactions across the continent and beyond. This is more than just a political stance. It's a declaration of war against exploitative practices that have long bled Africa dry. President Hichilema's bold statement has exposed a long-festering scandal in global bureaucracy's shadows. In 2024, African countries collectively lost $67.5 million, about $60 million in non-refundable Schengen visa fees, plus another $59 million siphoned off by the UK visa system. These figures aren't just numbers. They represent African citizens' hard-earned hopes, dreams, and savings, many facing Schengen visa rejection rates of 40 to 50%, especially in countries like Ghana, Senegal, and Nigeria. It's unacceptable that our citizens lose money on rejected visa applications, Hichilema thundered in a statement that echoed across the continent. His call for a fairer system where fees for rejected applications are refunded directly challenges a world order that has long benefited from Africa's marginalization. It's not just about the money. It's about justice, dignity, and Africans' right to equal treatment on the global stage. Imagine what $70 million could do for Africa. Picture rural schools, cutting-edge hospitals, roads linking communities, and industries teeming with local talent. Envision an Africa where leaders reject handouts, stop chasing aid at summits, and invest in their people's boundless potential. Hichilema's call rejects the status quo, refusing a system that exploits African dreams without giving back. It's a rallying cry for leaders to tap into the continent's wealth of talent, resources, and ingenuity to build a future where Africa stands strong, unapologetic, and unafraid. Leading this revolution is Captain Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso's 37-year-old leader whose bold vision is transforming his nation and inspiring a continent. Traoré is more than just a leader. He's a symbol of rebellion, challenging both Western and Eastern powers to forge a path of radical self-reliance. His message is clear and unwavering. Africa's talent must remain in Africa. The brightest minds in Africa won't be lured abroad only to face exploitation or discrimination. In a groundbreaking speech, Traoré said, "Imperialism has always taken our talents through scholarships and they never return." He added, "I don't want our brightest to go abroad and not serve their country." His words sharply rebuked leaders who've allowed African youth to be enticed by promises of a better life overseas, only to risk their lives at sea or face inhumane treatment in foreign lands. Traoré's revolution isn't built on empty promises. In Burkina Faso, it's creating jobs and transforming sectors with dynamic young talent. Textile factories in Burkina Faso are thriving, producing world-class goods that reduce reliance on imports. Farmers are empowered to feed the nation, export surplus, boost the economy, and showcase African self-reliance. Local engineers and workers lead infrastructure projects, proving Africans can build their future independently. Traoré's government invests in institutions, offering better wages and training to ensure citizens' safety and security. Ensuring Burkina Faso's brightest have every reason to stay home. This leader knows Africa's strength lies in its people, not foreign aid. In a scathing critique, Traoré fearlessly lectured fellow African leaders. "Stop being puppets of foreign countries," he warned, breaking complacency. He slammed the thinking that Africans can't match or surpass the West, a mindset leading to costly contracts with Chinese firms for infrastructure, while sidelining local talent. Their own talent. In Burkina Faso, Traoré is proving this wrong. Local companies are now tackling major infrastructure projects, delivering quality work at a fraction of the cost. For instance, Burkinabe engineers built a highway from Ouagadougou to Bobo Dioulasso at half the price of foreign bids. It's become a symbol of Africa's potential when it believes in itself. This isn't just about economic sense. It's a proud statement rejecting the lie that African capabilities are inferior. Traoré won't ignore the mistreatment of Africans abroad. From Gulf countries' labor abuse to Europe's racism, these stories are sadly common. African nurses, engineers, and academics with visas often end up in menial, underpaid, and undervalued jobs. Many risk their lives on rickety boats across the Mediterranean, chasing a dream that usually ends in disappointment. Traoré said, "Africans crossed the sea, some dying, seeking a better life in the West," his voice heavy with sadness and resolve. He recounted stories of young Africans drowning, their bodies washing ashore, a grim reminder of desperation's cost. He spoke of indignities faced by arrivals in Europe, treated as second-class, skills ignored, dignity trampled. He declared, "If our leaders woke up, this wouldn't happen," blaming those who neglected Africa's potential. Traoré's revolution is unstoppable. It's no wonder he's celebrated across Africa and beyond. Young Africans especially see in him a leader embodying their hopes. On X, African youth from Nigeria to Kenya share videos and stories of Burkina Faso's transformation, from new factories to thriving farms, proving Africa can prosper without relying on West or East. Captain Ibrahim Traoré shows what good governance looks like, wrote a Zambian, capturing the mood of a generation tired of empty promises. A Ghanaian user posted, "He's building a nation where youth have jobs, hope, and pride. This is the Africa we want." Traoré's leadership sparked a movement, inspiring a generation to demand more from governments and believe in their continent's power. Compare this to the endless cycle of African leaders attending summits abroad, returning with little more than photo ops and empty promises. These taxpayer-funded trips symbolize a beggar's mindset, believing Africa's future lies in foreign hands. Traoré firmly rejects this. Quote, "We don't need to beg," he declared, electrifying his audience. "Africa has everything it needs: talent, resources, and vision. We lack leaders with the courage to act." His words sharply criticized those prioritizing foreign approval over national progress, attending summits while their people suffer in poverty. If African leaders could redirect energy from these trips to empowering their own people, the continent could create millions of jobs, of work, tapping its vast resources and building a future to rival any other in the world. The visa fee scandal is just a symptom of a deeper problem. A global system that profits from Africa's marginalization. Largo Collective, a London-based research group, has exposed the discrimination and bias inherent in the Schengen visa process, where African applicants face much higher rejection rates than those from other regions. In 2024, Ghana, Senegal, and Nigeria saw 40 to 50% rejection rates with no refunds on costly fees. This isn't just about money, it's humiliating. African lives and dreams are often deemed unworthy by Western gatekeepers. Hichilema's bold refund demand aims to dismantle this unfair system. But TRA leads the way, building a nation free from begging for visas or validation. The contrast between Traoré, Burkina Faso and most of Africa's status quo is stark. While some sign inflated Chinese deals, Traoré empowers local talent to lead. His initiatives have created thousands of jobs in Burkina Faso, from textile workers making vibrant faso danfani to engineers designing sustainable irrigation. Youth flock to these opportunities, energizing every sector. In agriculture, Traoré's government launched programs to modernize farming, giving young farmers access to training, equipment, and markets. This boosted local production. Burkina Faso now exports millet, sorghum, and cotton to neighbors, reducing foreign import reliance. In industry, Traoré's policies are equally transformative. New factories are being built to process raw materials like shea butter and gold, ensuring Burkina Faso reaps full economic benefits from its resources instead of exporting raw materials to foreign companies. Young Burkinabe work in these factories. Many were trained in government vocational programs. In the construction sector, local firms now handle projects once dominated by foreign contractors. Foreigners building schools, hospitals, and roads with efficiency and pride that has silenced the skeptics. "We don't need China or the West to build our country," Traoré said in a recent speech. "We have engineers to design bridges, architects to plan cities, and workers to make it happen. We just need to trust ourselves." This confidence in African talent is the core of Traoré's revolution. Unlike leaders who see their people as unable to compete with the West, Traoré believes Africa's minds can outshine anyone. He's prioritized education reform, ensuring Burkina Faso's youth have skills to drive their nation forward. New tech schools and universities offer courses in engineering, technology, and entrepreneurship. Scholarships are shifting to local institutions, keeping Africa's brightest minds at home to build their continent. "We have doctors saving lives, scientists innovating, and entrepreneurs creating wealth," Traoré declared. "Why look west when we have everything we need right here?" Admiration for Traoré is evident, especially among young Africans who see him as a leader who walks the talk. Across Africa, youth are sharing Burkina Faso's transformation story, from social media to community meetings. In Nigeria, students host TRA talks to discuss policies and brainstorm ways to push their leaders to follow suit. In Kenya, young entrepreneurs launched Stay Home to Build Africa, inspired by Traoré's call to keep talent local. Even in Zambia, where Hichilema's visa refund sparked debate, youth cite Traoré as proof Africa can thrive without foreign aid. It's not just a president, it's a movement. Millions echo this ex-user's sentiment. Mistreatment of Africans abroad starkly reminds us why this revolution is urgent. In Gulf nations like Saudi Arabia, African workers often face harsh conditions, low pay, and even abuse. African professionals in Europe encounter systemic barriers, including hiring discrimination and racism. A Nigerian nurse in the UK recently shared her experience on X. She described being forced to work as a cleaner despite her qualifications, simply because her African credentials weren't recognized. In Israel, African migrants faced detention and deportation, their economic contributions ignored. These aren't anomalies, but the norm for Africans seeking opportunities abroad, only to find broken promises. Traoré's call isn't just economic, it's about retaining African talent. It's about restoring pride and autonomy. Autonomy for a continent exploited for centuries. Hichilema's bold lawsuit and Traoré's leadership, two sides of the same coin. Rejecting the status quo and exploitation, envisioning a self-reliant Africa. The visa fee scandal serves as a wake-up call. African wealth drains through resource extraction and bureaucratic injustice. Lost Shenzhen visa fees could fund local training and infrastructure. Lost UK visa fees could build schools and clinics for the next generation. This isn't just a pipe dream. Traoré is already making this a reality in Burkina Faso. If African leaders follow Traoré's lead, the continent could transform. Instead of importing foreign labor or seeking Western aid, they could invest in their own people. Engineers for roads, doctors for hospitals, entrepreneurs to boost growth. The resources are there. The resources are there. Africa holds some of the world's richest deposits of gold, sulfur oxides, and rare earth minerals. Yet it remains one of the poorest continents due to mismanagement and exploitation. Traoré's Burkina Faso is proving it doesn't have to be this way. By nationalizing key industries and prioritizing local labor, they ensure the land's wealth benefits their people, not foreign firms. The time for begging is over. It's time for African leaders to stop attending summits and start building their nations. As Traoré showed, Africa has the talent, resources, and vision to surpass the West. It's time for leaders to wake up, think forward, and make Africa the great continent it was meant to be. From Hichima's defiant stance to Traoré's unstoppable revolution, the message is clear. Africa will no longer be exploited. The continent is rising, and its leaders are finally tuning into the pulse of their people. The world should take note. This is an Africa that won't be silenced. An Africa that won't back down. An Africa ready to reclaim its destiny. Listen up, brothers and sisters. The bold moves of leaders like Zambia's Hichima and Burkina Faso's Traoré mark a turning point. It's time for Africa to break free from exploitation and embrace its boundless potential. If African leaders unite behind this vision, the possibilities could be truly transformative. A united Africa, driven by a shared commitment to self-reliance and mutual empowerment, could redefine the continent's place on the world stage, transforming it from a perceived beggar to a powerhouse of innovation, talent, and opportunity. Picture a continent where borders aren't barriers but bridges, where bright minds from Burkina Faso can travel to Kenya or Tanzania to share their expertise, and where South African innovators work side by side with peers from Mali or Senegal. This vision of intra-African mobility would spark a wave of opportunities. Engineers from Burkina Faso could design sustainable infrastructure in Nairobi. Doctors from South Africa could bolster healthcare systems in Bamako. Tech entrepreneurs could launch startups in Dar es Salaam, enabling free movement and collaboration. African nations could create millions of jobs, leveraging the continent's vast human capital to boost economic growth and innovation. A united Africa would mean that the $70 million lost to Schengen visa rejections and the £44 million drained by UK visa fees could be redirected to fund regional initiatives, vocational training programs, cross-border trade networks, or Pan-African universities that train the next generation of leaders. Instead of exporting talent to the West or East, where African professionals often face discrimination and exploitation, a united continent would create a vibrant ecosystem where skills are valued and rewarded at home. Burkina Faso's thriving textile factories could supply Nigerian markets. Kenya's agricultural innovations could feed communities in Ghana, and Morocco's renewable energy projects could boost Ethiopia's industries. This isn't just a dream. It's achievable if leaders embrace Traoré's bold vision. This unity would shatter Africa's long-standing beggar image. Leaders wouldn't chase aid crumbs at endless foreign summits. A united Africa would stand as an equal, leveraging its resources. Collective resources, gold, diamonds, cobalt, and the ingenuity of its 1.4 billion people to demand respect and fair treatment. Hichman's exposed visa fee scandal would be history, replaced by a system of free movement for Africans, fostering wealth and opportunities. the world would view Africa not as a charity case, but as a continent of creators, innovators, and builders. Captain Traoré Burkina Faso's revolution shows what's possible when a leader truly believes in their people. His initiatives created jobs, empowered local talent, and proved Africa can thrive without foreign aid. Extending this model continent-wide through cooperation, shared infrastructure, and aligned policies would have a staggering impact. Young Africans wouldn't risk their lives crossing the Mediterranean or face humiliation abroad. They'd find purpose and prosperity in their own backyard. A united Africa would be a beacon of hope, a continent where every citizen from Cape Town to Cairo contributes to a shared destiny. The era of division is over. It's time for African leaders to wake up and unite. Embracing Traoré's vision and Hichim's call for justice, Africa can keep its talent at home. Its resources would benefit its people and its voice command respect. This is the Africa of tomorrow, a united, thriving continent standing as a world leader, forging its path to greatness.